Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Esports Masters League here for round number 4 of the championship as we take in the fantastic Belgian Grand Prix. I know the stream at the moment, it says I'm joining alongside SJ the One. It is not SJ the One alongside with me. It is the man, the myth, the legend, the EML F1 lead commentator is the one and only Mr. James Head. And James Head, how are you doing? And thank you for joining me here tonight. Ooh. Yeah, give me no, not on my end. I have to quickly sort that out a sec. For some reason, it's not bringing you through. So just give me 2 seconds here, James, and I'll sort it out. Just a quick moment. Right, that should be working now. If we could do a quick test on it.
Right, evening everyone. Hopefully you can hear me now if that is coming through on the stream, which is all good. Thank goodness for that. We are right on track. 14 drivers about to get going here for Academy. My first look into Academy, but not my first look in on Belgium, of course, because we did the Race of Champions around here as well. But I'm excited, looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, last time out was a very, very interesting race. It came all the way down to the wire, and it was lifeboat for ET8 taking victory last time out at Suzuka. And of course, what that does to the standings, of course, I'm about to bring that up now. ET8 currently lead the way on 185 points, 46 points clear of WR Academy in second place. And of course, we got IRT Academy in third, with NLR Development currently in fourth. Obviously, GL did score a point, but I don't believe they are competing anymore. But we do have a new team in here tonight, RCR Academy. And it's going to be interesting to see how RCR get along around this track.
Yeah, RCR not only joining the Academy, they're going to be the 10th team, of course, in EML Premier 1 later. So congratulations to them moving up. There was a qualifying session, I believe, through for Premier 1. And that's why we're having the Academy team. That's why we're also having everyone in terms of EML Premier. I'm looking forward to seeing how they get on. I know RCR very well, of course, from the qualifiers that we did. And RCR are a very consistent team. But ET8 leading the way on 185 points. Lifeboat, formerly Parnell Racing, of course. Believe once again he is here tonight. Actually, he's on a lap running down in towards turn number 1 at La Source hairpin. So the Mercedes is currently on a lap right now. But from Parnell Racing all the way to ET8 Academy, big step up, I think, for Lifeboat. Hopefully he will suit himself in terms of his race win especially, and his podium finish, of course, in Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, to give you guys a quick view on the driver lineup here tonight, that is how things are looking. So for IRT, we have Jet and Mika in the Red Bulls, and of course Casper in the second Williams car. For ET8, we have Lifeboat, Daniel in the Mercedes, and of course Rowan Moore in the first Williams car. For WOR in the Alfa Romeos, we have Raul Riz and of course Fraser. And in the lone Haas, we have Soapbox for WOR. And then of course for NLR development, we have Sipala in the McLaren, and then of course Mustache Maki in the Aston Martins, and of course the RCR Academy team making their debut tonight. In the Scuderia Ferraris, we got Capitan Wizard in the Ferraris, and in the AlphaTauris we have now this is going to test my pronunciation skills by you, Nishino.
No, never seen you. I'm gonna just go with that for now. Sorry, man. He's there on a lap at the minute. Lifeboat, by the way, is invalid coming through the middle sector. Raul going quickest for now. Of course, for WR, I believe, is Raul. That is for. I haven't got the driver lineup in front of me, so this is going to be very interesting indeed.
Do you want me to send it to you real quick?
Hang on. I'll be able to get it somewhere. I think it's in the League Racing TV Discord. I should be fine.
Okay, happy days.
Got it.
Yeah, lovely stuff. As Daniel there jumps up on to provisional pole with a 1:41.0, a very quick lap time there from Daniel.
Yeah, very quick lap time from Daniel, of course. Very familiar face, actually, to EML Premier 1 viewers back in the day as well. Daniel, of course, 141 flat, currently on his lap there. Lifeboat, as I said, mentioned in terms of invalidation. Capitan, they're going second, with Ruiz in third. And Nevesinho's on a lap at the minute. M. Sapolo as well, very familiar name to NLR viewers from last season. Part of that EML winning team as well in Season 3. So Sapolo's got a very good turn of foot about him. He was formerly LFR, remember, as well, back in the day. So Sapolo looking to try and provide NLR Academy with a very good result. They have been under the cosh a little bit, I've got to be honest, NLR, but hopefully they can really come about in the Academy tonight. But Daniel Ladd on top, Kaylee in second, Capitan there currently in third. Sapolo, I think, had invalidated his lap time to 31.8 in the first sector, so nowhere near what we normally expect.
Yeah, and I believe IRT Jet is going to be the next one to set a proper flying lap, as everyone has invalidated on their opening runs that are out on track right now, or they are coming into an in-lap. But Jet right now coming through the source as we head down towards Eau Rouge and Radion. Let's climb up the hill through Eau Rouge and of course over the peak of Radion down the Kemmel Straight, and now a little bit of IRT teamwork here. There's a little bit of a slipstream going on.
Yeah, very faint slipstream. I'm going to be honest, nowhere near the sort of slipstream we might be seeing in EML Premier 1 later, or not EML F1 as it's now called. 29.8 though in the first sector. Looking very good. The purple middle sector indicates that he's purple out of himself rather than everyone else out on track. The IRT team, I was speaking to Steban, of course, who's a real familiar part of IRT. They were actually looking through quite well, of course, and looking to get promoted into Premier 1. Little did he know I'd be asked to commentate alongside you, Mike, tonight. But Daniel Allen top, McKelly in second. Jet there currently on a lap, coming now through Pooh on the fastest part of this track, coming now through left-hander of turn number 11 in towards the Fania chicane, turns 12 and 13, and then before we get towards Campos with curve pull Frere. But it's looked so far, looked pretty good. Downforce all key around this track as well, and Jet in the middle sector is a 1:13.6, so actually not too bad in the middle sector.
Yeah, absolutely, and now there's nothing else to do but put your foot to the floor as you head down in towards the bus stop chicane. Jet now approaching Blanchimont, and obviously going to be maximum commitment coming through there. Now it's all about your braking point coming into the bus stop chicane. Very easy to run a little bit deep and completely mess up your line for the second part of the chicane, but Jet appears to have done very well there. DRS wide open as it crosses the line, and it's going to be the front row at the moment with a 41.8, so 8/10 off Daniel. Daniel really looking strong after the first runs.
Yeah, Daniel, very familiar face, as I mentioned to EML F1 viewers over the last season or so. Doing a fantastic job there, of course, looking through the team's lineup as well. Daniel, of course, part of the ET8 Academy team. Owen Moore as well, of course, in the Williams Lifeboat alongside. And currently, Daniel out on top. The other two haven't actually set a lap time so far, so quite a few invalidations early on. WI Esports, a team that I've been very familiar with commentating alongside on Legacy Division. Casper, by the way, has taken the qualifying ban, I believe, for IRT. He's actually just in the pit lane, so he will be taking that qualifying ban for IRT as well after last week's incident. But Daniel Ladd on top, Jet Sagan, McKaylee there in third. The first man to start up on a lap, I believe, is Soapbox, which I don't think around Belgium you need a Soapbox around here, but let's hope Soapbox, regardless, is going to put on a good show for WR.
Yeah, absolutely. Soapbox driver I'm very familiar with. In fact, I'm quite familiar with a lot of drivers on this grid at the moment coming through from PSGL. So it's very interesting to see these guys racing in Academy and seeing how they get on. But Soapbox now down into La Source. Obviously drifting a little bit wide on the exit, but getting decent traction on the exit there. And now is foot to the floor, climb up towards Oruz and Radion. And I tell you what, obviously the tyre compounds here tonight, obviously C2, C3 and C4 compounds respectively around this 7 kilometre, 4.3 mile track in length, 19 corners, 10 to the left and 9 to the right as we come through the comms and now heading down in towards Brussels, which is of course going to be a very opportunistic overtaking point on the track. Wouldn't you agree, James?
Yeah, definitely so. I think all the way through this section, even down in towards Pooh, and I think we will see a lot of overtaking out on track. Of course, previous seasons from F1 and F2, Season 3 was the last time we were here in Belgium, as there's a Ferrari in the way, my word. That is Capitan, I think, for RCR, if I'm not mistaken, on a lap, or he's on an out lap. He didn't realise it was there, and unfortunately, Soapbox now not on a lap. The WR team are not happy with that one, let me tell you.
Yep, absolutely not. And Soapbox will be absolutely fuming with that, I can assure you. I believe we have Owen on a lap right now. 30 flat in the first sector split. And honestly, I think that's a decent bit off at the moment, isn't it?
It is. We normally see, 29, from the top guys at least, for later on tonight. I think it will be 29 sixes, 29 sevens in the first sector, potentially, from these drivers out on track. But Owen looking quite good. ETA Academy, of course, currently leading the way in terms of the standings, of course, into tonight. They've done a fantastic job as Lifeboat, of course, in previous weeks. But Owen, now until the Campos chicane, Raul Ruiz has retired there, and that is coming through. Is that through in the pit lane, or is that the final corner? Actually, no, there he is on the right-hand side, just coming through Campos corner by Giovinazzi. And Russell famously made contact, of course, in 2021. It's a 113 flat in the middle sector from the ETA man, so looking quite good. Just on my point, by the way, the last time we were here was Season 3. Coldsley took the win last time it was in F2 from Harry Banks in second. The last time TTG were actually a 1-2 as well then, and SXT Mike, sadly not the guy alongside me in the commentary box, finishing there in third position for Premier 2.
Yeah, and I believe Spicer has just joined the session a little bit late there. Of course, he's in the pit lane now, so and I'll have another driver on the grid. It's fantastic as Owen goes up onto the front row 2 times off the back of Daniel, and Lifeboat, his teammate, is also out there on track right now.
Yeah, looking good. I'm aboard with Zapalo, actually. He's coming through the middle sector in towards the no-name corner, or Jackie X corner as it's now known, on the run towards Puon. Zapalo's looking very good in the first sector. 29.8 in the first sector. I believe he's quicker than Daniel. 2 tenths up on Owen through the first sector as well. So Daniel looking good, but Lifeboat comes in there with a 140.8. So maybe ignore what Zapalo's going to be setting here. Lifeboat though out on top. Daniel in second, Owen in third. I'm still on board with Zapala. His middle sector split should be around a 112.6, 112.5 through the middle sector from Zapala, so quicker than what even I'm thinking.
Yeah, and only that, he's got a little bit of a long-range tow from the Ferrari up ahead, so it might help him just a little bit down the run in towards the bus stop chicane.
Definitely so. And toward the bus stop chicane we go then, on board with Sapolo, of course, podium setter back in the day, of course, in EML. Oh, bit of a slide actually coming through 18. And then on the exit of the bus stop chicane through turn 19, should go quicker than Lifeboat, and he does. 140.7 with a slight mistake there on the rear locking in towards the bus stop chicane. I think we can find a 10th and a half on that lap. That is going to be a 40.5, 40.6 as the session goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely time there in the bus stop chicane for the Sapala there for NOR. So it's going to be interesting to see how obviously the qualifying is going to continuously move on. As it looks right now, ETA doing very similar to what they did last week at Suzuka, where they got all their drivers up towards the front end, and usually that's where they end up in the race as well.
Yeah, do not discount them out, honestly. ETA, of course, have been doing fantastically well in Legacy Division, of course, as well, back in the day in EML. They are a very much well-known team. Oh, and they're coming back into the pit lane, currently in fourth. But second, third, and fourth, I think they'll be very happy with that, because Spies are currently on a lap at this moment in time as well. McKaylee did invalidate, I believe, on his lap. He was showing us 0.3 quicker than Capitan in the middle sector, so that's a disappointment from his perspective. A 42.2 there for the Red Bull, behind, of course, Jet, who's a part, of course, of the IRT team. And in fact, IRT, of course, represented alongside Casper, who's in the other Williams, and Casper, of course, with that qualifying ban. IRT really need a result. They've only got 2 drivers qualifying tonight, so they've got to put it all on the line.
Yeah, I mean, Casper, obviously last week, very, very strong performance for him in Suzuka. I believe, yeah, he was the only one that was pushing ETA drivers, and he managed to split them on the podium for IRT. So, and I believe, obviously, first podium of the season for IRT, and a very capable driver. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him come through the field towards the front end by the end of this race.
Yeah, definitely so, definitely so. Looking through as well, ET8 apparently in the managers. Spicer's going to join with a qualifying ban, so that's why he's coming back in the pit lane. So NLR will have that additional qualifying ban. Quick work by the stewards, actually, there. I've just seen that message pop through on my end. So Spicer into the pit lane. Qualifying ban being taken by NLR, so that now means NLR and IRT only having 2 drivers qualifying in this session. I mean, regardless, I think you don't really need them, to be honest, because Apollo's there in first at the minute. And then, of course, you've got the other man for NLR, who my name escapes me.
Mustache, he's already out. He didn't manage to get a lap time.
Yeah, down in 14th position. Mustache, unfortunately, maybe caught with a bit of egg on his face, potentially, in terms of the retirement early on in the session. Fraser as well getting disqualified from the session, but Apollo out on top, Lifeboat second, Daniel there in third. 2 minutes to go already. Where has the time gone in this session? I thought we've still got about 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, time does fly when you're here in Academy, that is for certain. Wizard, I believe, is going to be the first man to set the final set of lap times on this circuit. He's currently down in P10 with a 57.1. I mean, not a competitive lap time so far from Wizard, but this final run could make all the difference from the RCR driver as he comes through to begin his final lap around Spa.
Yeah, they're trying to ball with him down in towards the right hand of turn number 1 at the source. A bit of relocking there down in towards turn 1. Very difficult corner to get out of, actually. Maldonado, Alonso, Hamilton all connecting there, of course, in 2012. With Maldonado's unfortunate braking in towards turn number 1. Actually, no, it was Grosjean. Actually, it was Grosjean, not Maldonado. It was the other Lotus. Goodness me, I knew it was a Lotus. I didn't know which one. Wizard, though, is looking to try and perform some magic out on track in towards the first sector, and it's a 29.9 in the first sector. Mike, I'm sure, is going to be shaking his head from that pun, but a 29.9 through the first sector, a 10th up, but the majority of his lap is going to come in the second and the third sector. 57.1, that is just a delta time, basically, that he's trying to aim for. And Wizard, if Capitan's there in 7th, 41.9, that's where he's got to be aiming for.
Yeah, and this is where he has to fully commit now through the middle sector. You really have to throw the car through and try and take as much speed as possible as we head now into the compost section. And of course, very easy to lose it on the curbs through this sector. We've seen so many times in the past in EML where someone gets on the curbs just a little bit, it does unsettle the car massively.
Yeah, definitely so. 13.3 in the middle sector. Wizard looking very good. Daniel and Owen, by the way, just starting up on their laps. They're coming through turns 1 and 2. It's Apollo out on top, Lifeboat there in second. Daniel there in third. The emojis spamming there, I'm sure, is for me actually being an academy instead of EML 21 tonight. But Apollo leading the way. Wizard nearly goes for a huge spin. Coming through the bus stop chicane. The Ferrari rotates the car nicely. He's going to be behind Raul if he's not mistaken. No, he goes quicker than him. 9th position ahead of one of the WR drivers. So not a bad lap time there at all from him. Sapala, Lifeboat, Daniel top 3. Daniel, by the way, in the first sector didn't catch on board with his first sector split. Owen, though, was a 10th up.
Yeah, Soapbox, I believe, is the next man across the line. Honestly, I'm very confused what happened with Capitan, because he did not make the checkered flag.
Maybe a little bit of glitching in the timing, perhaps?
Potentially, but middle sector split now for Soapbox, and it's a 1:13.2 in the middle sector, so I mean, regardless, he's going to get himself up ahead of Spicer, but he's going to be looking further up the grid for sure.
Yeah, Soapbox is on a very good lap. Daniel as well, right in behind, is 2.5 tenths up in that middle sector, so he's definitely one to watch out for. There's a car that has spun as well. I think that might be Lifeboat that has spun, coming through Campus Corner. So that's difficulty for him. Owen as well on a lap. Soapbox for the line there goes 5th position, but Daniel coming through the final corner. Bit of a mistake actually on the bus stop chicane. Comes to the line, goes 3rd. That mistake I think cost him. Owen there was 3.5 tenths up. Let's see what the ET8 man can do on the run toward the line. Does he go quicker? No. Goes short by 0.03 of a second. Might not make a difference, but Sapala's a 10th down in the middle sector. Let's see what the NLR man can do. It's pole position regardless. Can he improve going into the final corner? I think with the way he's taken that, probably not. Sapala though on the run to the line goes not quickest, but he stays quickest out of Owen and Lifeboat there, 2nd and 3rd. So first blood to NLR.
Yep, Sapala doing fantastic in the session. Owen Moore getting very close, and obviously from what I've seen of Owen Moore, obviously through various league races, he has always been a very quick qualifier, and sometimes the races don't always go his way, but I have seen in recent weeks that it's started to go his way again, so converting qualifying into good race results. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what he does from that front row. And of course, NLR, 2 drivers all the way down towards the back. Going to be interesting to see if they can get their way up the order. But for one more time, we'll run you through the qualifying order. Is Sapala for NLR taking pole position with a 40.764, just 3 thousandths of a second of ET8. Owen Moore in 2nd place. And of course, we got Lifeboat and Daniel, the 2 ETA drivers, joining each other on the 2nd row. WOR Soapbox in P5, Nishino in P6 with Jet in P7, Capitan in P8, Mikala in P9, and then of course we got Wizard rounding out the top 10. Raul Riz in P11 with Spicer in 12th, Casper in 13th, Mustache in 14th, and of course Fraser going to be starting all the way from the back for the WOR team.
Yeah, very interesting qualifying session there. Sapala out on top, only 3 thousandths of a second separating, but it is going to be a fascinating race. And normally with the weather as well, Belgium likes to throw up a few curveballs. Are we going to see any curveballs tonight here in Academy? You'll have to tune in and find out. Of course, first Grand Prix round here in 1950, Juan Manuel Fangio took the win in the Alfa Romeo, 22 laps, 7 kilometers in length, the dinosaur track as I like to call it here in EML. And it looks like certainly it is a little bit overcast, to be honest, but it is the sun poking through the clouds, so it is going to be a dry start to the race at least.
Yeah, for the start of the race, definitely going to be a dry start, but we both know, we've seen it many times, especially in league racing and obviously in EML in the past, how quickly the conditions can change around here at Belgium. So, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. There's a little bit of cloud coverage in the sky, but will that hold any rain? Time will tell.
Yeah, time will tell indeed. It is fair weather cloud, I think, at this moment in time out on track. But, of course, with Sapala out on top and the ET8 guys following in behind, could be a real run down in towards turn 1. Could see team tactics potentially early from the ET8 team. Of course, they've got 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Sapala there is a bit of no man's land because his 2 teammates, of course, are further down the field. So this is going to be really interesting in terms of how this is going to progress out on track. Of course, Season 1 and Season 3, the last time we were here, Young Power took the win from Amazing Hour and Kreiser in Season 1 for EML F1. Asaru, Datamo and Fleddy topped 3 in F2 in Season 1. And then Axelinho, Kauflidis and Ruti Hullet there, of course, formerly of LFR even, in 3rd. And Premier 2 Colesbury from Harry Banks from Mike, as we're going to get going into the green lights.
Yep, and here we go to the 5 red lights. Lights are out and we are underway here at Belgium, and it looks like a very good start from the NLR driver as Owen will have to follow suit. The 2 ETA drivers, Daniel Lifeboat, line the stern side by side through the source, and it looks like everyone has managed to get through with no damage whatsoever, which is fantastic to see.
Really good to see indeed, but the side-by-side running through Arush and Rani on Capitan, trying to hang it all the way around the outside on Jet. Jet about a little mega contact. Racing Spider was side-by-side as well, further down the field. But there goes Owen for the race lead. He's hit already ahead of NLR, it seems. Owen there leading the way from Sapala. In towards Lake Come We Come. Lifeboat and Daniel. Daniel very late on the brakes there. Absolutely cuts the chicane. Soapbox and Rosinho are going to be ahead along with Jet. Daniel on that set of hard compound tyres. Interesting strategy call, by the way, by Mustache. He's on a set of softs. Oh, Ferrari diving it to the inside on. That's Capitan getting it all out of shape on the brakes. Coming in towards Bruxelles. just about hangs on, but Owen there leading the way. Sapala second, Lifebound and third. Daniel and Wizard are side by side, and that is magic there from the man in the Mercedes.
And Moustache down the inside into pool one, and fantastic overtake there from Moustache. Coming through on the set of the soft tyres. And as you mentioned, yeah, interesting strategies. A lot of drivers on the hards, but we do have a little bit of variation here. Moustache on the softs, and of course Jet, Ralriz and Fraser on the set of medium tyres. So Moustache making moves on those soft tyres early on in this race.
Mitri, by the way, in the chat saying respect to me for doing double comms. I wouldn't want it any other way. I'm a commentator. I'm paid to do this. Well, I'm not, but it's still voluntary regardless. Wizard on the back of Val Reese side by side, coming through Planchon on McKelly side by side as well. The Red Bull looking up the inside line of the WR man, but there's contact. He's in the wall. McKelly out of the race. So unfortunate. IRT out. That could be a safety car where it was located though on track. I doubt it will be. Owen out on top from Sapala second, Lifebound and third as we begin lap 2.
Yeah, I just jumped on board with before he went into the wall, and obviously Casper there coming through the bus stop chicane. A little bit of a touch on the rear end of Spicer. So I think into the bus stop chicane, these guys need to be a bit more alert when braking, because you don't want to be tapping the back of any cars in front of you.
Yeah, definitely so, as Owen now gets overtaken by Sapala for the race lead to the inside line in toward Lacombe. Job done there for the NLR man, the McLaren there leading the way from the Williams in second. E-Take there in third as they're side by side, I think further down the field. That's Mustache trying to go all the way around the outside on Jet, nearly forced off towards the gravel. But even there down the hill and towards Bruxelles once again. Mustache with that set of soft compound tyres will be much fresher at the start of the race. They won't be in about 6 or 7 laps time because he'll be coming in the pit lane. Oh, and he forces to the inside line on Jet. Jet just about hangs on to the place, and Jet there stays in 6th, Mustache in 7th. A little bit of forceful driving there by the Aston Martin, but he wants to try and make light work with them.
Yeah, and of course, I mean, as you mentioned with the soft tyres, they will be the first ones to drop off. For Jet, though, he can't really afford to let these soft tyres go ahead of him, because they will fall off and they will become the inferior tyre versus the mediums pretty quickly in this race.
Oh, they will. Yeah, medium compound tyres. I would not be surprised if we see the crossover about 6 or 7 laps into this race. Mustache now going side by side. Fraser going side by side as well with Daniel in the background of shot. Daniel now behind on Fraser. So good moves there by Mustache. Good moves there as well by Fraser. Daniel still in the fight though in toward the bus stop chicane. The Red Bull looking to the inside line of Jet on the back of Mustache. Not getting quite job. It's M. Sapala who leads the way. Owen in second, but Owen had such a good run coming out the final corner right there towards the source, but he's not going to be overtaken. And now we can settle down, relax and enjoy the ride.
Yep, because of course lap 3 DRS has now been enabled, and this is where we're going to start to see some overtakes happen down the Kemmel Straight. As look at that, Owen Moore's going to try and get it done before it even begins, and Lifeboat is also in there as well. So both ETA drivers getting through up into a 1-2 position, and Sapala fortunately stays ahead of Soapbox, but there we go, double ETA overtake on the NLR driver.
Yeah, Sapala doing a fantastic job, by the way, not to get involved in that, but he's involved on the curb, nearly spins. He's going to spin if he's not careful. Sapala just about recovers that coming through Bruxelles. That was really sketchy from the man in the McLaren. I was about to say he actually did that with a bit of tactics in mind, potentially to save the ERS. Now we need to catch up that little bit of time. Could have been game over for Sapala. It's not. He's there in third, still within DRS range. Just needs to maybe take it calm, take a chill pill, I think, with that car.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously we got Daniel down in P9, obviously trying to make some... Oh, Sapala with a 3-second time penalty. How crucial will that be come the end of the race? We saw what happens when time penalties are involved in previous races this season, and that could be huge for the NLR driver.
Yeah, Fraser on the back of Jet, by the way, already from 15th up to 8th, maybe looking 15th up to 7th here, outside line. Just about gets the car stopped on the brakes. Never going to get that one, my friend. It's Jet there in 7th, Fraser in 8th, Daniel there in 9th, brings actually Daniel into play. And Daniel, of course, I think formerly, if I'm not mistaken, of the Juventus Racing team back in the day. Might be wrong with that fact, but I certainly recognise him from EMLs. Casper and Spicer are side by side coming through turn 1. Casper there forced off track a little bit, but Spicer through on the inside line through the source. He's up into 12th position. Owen now leading the way. Lifebad in second. Ite now got full control over this race, it seems. So follow there in third with that 3-second penalty. As Lifebad now goes to the inside line on the back of Owen. And that is full implementation of the race lead for ET8 out front as Daniel, again, side by side with Fraser, coming through the comp, not quite close enough.
Yeah, and of course this is the issue for Daniel. I mean, you got Jet, who's just outside that 1 second now, but Jet did have DRS on Mustache down the Camel Straight on this previous lap.
Contact!
So, oh,
this contact on this broken front wing there, didn't quite see that because I was typing a comment in the comment section, and it's Jet that's lost his right side end plate damage. Now, I'm not sure what might have led into that. I'm going to have a look back on the replay. We will get there eventually, I think, in terms of the replay. It looks like it might have been contact with Fraser, and Fraser potentially having a nose up on the inside. That broken front wing there, Fraser looks like he's got damage as well on the left side end plate. So I wonder if he has had that issue there and that bit of contact with Jet. Daniel now on the back of him, Raul on the back of him as well. Fraser potentially could be letting Raul in to actually try and get the job done, as Daniel now on the back. They're going to be very careful. He has got left side end plate damage on the car, but Daniel now to the inside line through Blanchimont. Fraser and Raul are side by side as well. Fraser cannot steer into the corner. That'll be him in the pit lane, and Daniel and Raul now through into 7th and 8th, and contact that could have been avoided.
yeah, absolutely. And see, you don't want to get pick-up contact, especially this early on in the race. But it is a very long race and a very long lap, so a lot of painters. Oh my God!
Spins! Sapala spins and has taken out Soapbox with him. It cannot get any worse now for WR, surely. Soapbox now, that was just pure and utter. Well, it was just greed on the curb from Sapala. It just outbroke himself onto the outside curb, spun the car. Soapbox, wrong place, wrong time. Ghosting system failing. And Soapbox now, I think, has escaped damage. Spicer certainly hasn't. I think it's left side end plate damage on the car for Spicer. But Owen there leading, Lifebad in second. Never seen you there in third. And looking through, Soapbox is actually the one that's got right side end plate damage.
Yeah, Soapbox damage on that Haas F1 car as he gets overtaken by Spicer. As you got Wizard and Capitan going through as well. And obviously what we're seeing at the moment, a lot of mistakes coming in, creeping in on lap 5 here.
Yeah, a lot of early mistakes, I've got to be honest. And there's another one because Daniel has gone off coming through poo on. It's almost as if somebody's put banana skins on this track and they're treating it like a 3-lap Mario Kart right at the minute. But Daniel there in 11th, Soapbox there in 12th. Soapbox with that damage, of course. Daniel just a pure spin by himself. But it's individual mistakes, and there's another one. It's Casper coming through Campos. Oh, it's almost as if somebody's put an oil slick down on track and they just can't control the car. And there is Daniel into the wall because he's just gone straight on into Campos. Safety car deployed.
I didn't actually quite have a good view of Daniel going straight on there, but my God, so many mistakes going on, and I'm wondering, is that just tires overheating, or is there an actual issue out on track?
Just seen it actually from the wide out camera angle on board the replay there, and it looks like Daniel's had a slight twitch midway through the corner at curve pull Frere, and he's gone straight into the wall. Unfortunate for him. I'm sure WR will report if there was anything wrong in terms of the setup, but everyone now into the pit lane, bar Owen and Wizard, so they are actually staying out on a set of hard compounded tyres, potentially preempting the fact that we might get another safety car in this race. Everyone knows splitting the strategies, mediums for a few, hards for a few as well, so it's pretty much 50-50 even split. However, if you're Casper and you want to try and take full advantage of this race, you go on a set of soft because you've got broken front wing damage as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course this does bring a lot of drivers back into contention here with the safety car obviously picking up some damage early on, so the likes of Jet and Soapbox and Casper are going to be able to get themselves back into this. Interestingly enough, obviously, Michaela from IRT is obviously out of this race, and now Daniel from ET8. Big opportunity for WOR to try and get their way up the order, to potentially close in on ET8 in the standings.
Yeah, definitely. So this is now a real given chance, I think, for WR to try and capitalise on other teams' downfalls. I think out on track, just individual mistakes creeping in. For those, Michele, of course, out of the race with that contact, and then, of course, Daniel out of the race by himself coming through curve pull Frere. causing that safety car. On lap 6 out of 22, by the way, if you are just tuning in, EML F1 and F2 to come a little bit later on, 8 p.m. UK time. Myself and Indigo taking to the action, and then it is Leslie and Mr. CRL Freefall for F2. Had to remember that off the top of my head. Did not have that in front of me, which is pretty good. But Owen there leading the way. Wizard in second, Lifeboat there in third. But surely, Mike, everyone on the set of medium compounder tyres are going to be rubbing their hands and thinking, yeah, we've got the best strategy here, but potentially mediums might not even be able to make it to the end of the race. So that is a tricky call.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, obviously, the mediums, as you mentioned, it's going to be a tricky call to get them to the end. But I think we are just at the upper reaches of what the mediums can do in terms of a tire life. I think with the remaining laps, just about.
Yeah, I've done notes for Premier 1, and I've put 14 laps for a set of medium compounder tyres, so that is near upper reach, I think, of what they can do. I've pretty much said optimal of 10 or 11 laps on the set of mediums as well. So beyond that point, mediums will begin to wear off. They'll be beyond the 50-60% rate potentially in terms of drivers out on track. Casper all the way back in the pit lane, maybe doing a mandatory 2-stop, of course. Set of soft compounder tyres on at the minute, maybe going for a set of hards, I'm thinking, towards the end. I think with a 1-stop, that is perceivable. Jet there back in for a set of medium compounder tyres as well. So he feels confident to get to the end. Casper feels confident as well because he's also going on that set of hard compounder tyres. So Casper, I think, is probably the better one of them coming into the pit lane. With Casper on that set of hards, he can easily make it to the end, whereas the guys on the mediums, I'm uncertain.
Yeah, I mean, the guys on the mediums, yeah, they're going to have the quicker tyres, so you would presume until at least around, I'm gonna gamble, say a lap 17, 18, but for the final 5 laps, they are going to begin to fall away. You're going to see the hard tyres take over.
Yeah, hard compounder tyres will take over, and remember, Owen and Wizard are still yet to come in the pit lane, so easily, if another safety car gets thrown up, their race is potentially saved, and then everyone else's races, they're scrambling to go on to the next plan. But I'm sure every single team here are going to have plans A to Z all the way down, no matter what scenario, no matter what situation it is here in EML Academy. But Owen there leading the way, Wizard in second, Lifeboat there in third. And currently, ETA looking to try and have that stranglehold on the lead in terms of the championship. And maybe we could get the safety car in this lap as well, with Casper and Jet catching them very quickly to the back.
Yeah, and of course another interesting thing, obviously, Wizard and Owen stayed out. They did not decide to pit under the safety car, so they're going to be out of sync. And obviously they're going to be falling down the order quite considerably once they do come into the pit stops. But they will be on very fresh mediums. How well do we think they're going to be able to come back by the end of the race? Because we're talking about the mediums potentially falling off at the end. Will the likes of Wizard and Owen be able to overtake it when a safety car is coming in at the end of this lap?
Yeah, Owen and Wizard, it's a tricky one for them, I think. Short term, under the safety car restart, they're going to be struggling. Lifeboat never seen you. I would not be surprised if they actually threw up in towards Lycom, down in towards Bruxelles, that sort of section out on track. They're going to have to try and keep those sides, though, to an absolute T. Maybe to get onto a set of softs. If there's a late safety car around lap 15, lap 16, then they can make the softs towards the end of the race. It's going to be tricky. Owen, no virtual Bert Marlander, virtual safety car, and taking it pretty much like I normally do when the safety car restarts around here. Pretty much even speed, 87 mile an hour. Perfect from Owen's perspective. Perfect restart, it seems, from everyone else in behind. And he's going to put the pedal to the metal and the foot to the floor very soon indeed, as he now comes in towards the bus stop chicane. The ETA man controlling and dictating the pace, and now he floors it. Coming through the bus stop chicane on the exit of the corner. Wizard now is going to be chasing a shadow potentially in the Williams, because the Williams have got a fantastic start. And now look at Lifeboat. Lifeboat on the outside line, and Wizard in towards turn one. Surely going to get him on the brakes just for the fresher tyres. Wizard a bit late on the brakes as well. But Lifeboat easily around the outside. Job done for Lifeboat, and now it's an ETA 1-2. There's Raul Ruiz, I think that is, in the background, going wide at turn one.
Yeah, that was Raul going off at turn one there. And honestly, I think Wizard just needs to move out of the way, because obviously Nishino is his teammate, as Lifeboat is going to get through.
Oh my word, look at Wizard!
Oh, Wizard's in the mix as well. So Wizard, looking to get this move done way wide into. There comes, and thankfully
beautiful.
Navigate it well.
Yeah, beautiful stuff as well from ET8 there. Lifeboat now can escape up the road. Owen is going to be now the real cork in the bottle. Nevesinho down the inside line. Sapala 3 wide in towards Bruxelles in behind as well. Moustache to the inside line and Wizard. Sapala just getting out of the way. Maybe that 3-second penalty coming back to bite him. But look at Sapala now on the exit through Puon. Gets the job done. Surely in towards Puon on the back of Wizard. And he does. He's through. And he's into fifth position. Great racing. This is the EML Academy. This is warming up nicely for F1 and F2 later. Spies a 3-second penalty. And Nevesinho around the outside of the Fania chicane. Absolutely brilliant stuff by the AlphaTauri. He's doing his into second on the back of Owen.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't quite on board with that because I was looking at the battle in the midfield, so I did miss that move. But absolutely, everything is kicking off in the midfield. Wizard seems to be a real bottleneck in the grid right now. Everyone is literally trying to overtake this Ferrari. The Ferrari's on so much older tyres compared to everyone else, and it's causing a real concertina effect in the midfield.
It is, and look at Casper as well on the back of Fraser, the WR man under pressure after that contact a little bit earlier on in the race. Casper now on the outside line. The Williams, Owen and Moustache are side by side down the straight as well. But Casper is through on the back of Fraser. Now he jumps ship to the battle for third as Moustache goes all the way around the outside on the back of Owen. Surely going to get this job done, but Sapala could get them both on the run down from the source in towards Arouge and Radion. Not quite close enough, but Sapala is right there in the mix, coming up towards Lecom. If his straight line speed anything like what was last lap, he could be past both of them in towards Lecom.
Yeah, absolutely. As it currently stands already, Sapala is going to be dropping back a bit because here comes Owen on Moustache now. Down the inside, haven't quite got it done in the break, and they have to fight it out. Through it comes, and they're squeezing around, and look at Sapala having a little luck, seeing where he can position his car to try and get an overtake done. They're still side by side. Owen and Moustache, the of a slide there from Owen. Well held from the ETA driver, but he does end up losing a spot to Sapala there, so he drops down to P5. Owen there, fantastic save from the ETA driver.
Sapala had his own mistake as well. I was on board with him. He had his own mistake on the outside curb. His own picks up a 3-second penalty there coming through Puon. Spicer now in the mix to the outside line. Fresher tyres surely going to work, and he's around the outside. Enel and ETA know how to fight. They are putting on a very good show. I'm looking forward to seeing how these guys get on in Academy a little bit later on as the race progresses. Owen makes another mistake there coming through Campos corner. Now going to be under the caution a little bit from Soapbox in behind. Soapbox not in a wooden shaped car as what a Soapbox normally is. He's there in 7th. WR man going to be taking full advantage. Sapala to the inside on a Moustache as well. Gets the job done. He's through, he's into third. Lifebound Nevesinho dominating, but Moustache and Sapala in the mix.
Yeah, and obviously Nishino currently up there in P2. Obviously RCR's first race, and they're doing very well early on. Nishino up there in P2, battling for the race win. So you got Capitan and Wizard that have had a couple of Capitan had an instant early on, so he's trying to make his way back to the field, and obviously Wizard staying out on those hard tyres should come good for the end of this race. But what we're looking at right now, obviously a good debut performance from RCR.
Yeah, RCR doing a phenomenal job. Soapbox goes to the inside on and Owen down the Camel straight in towards Lecom. Surely going to get this job done. He does. Casper on the outside on and Raul trying to get the job done around the outside. Raul is still there, to be fair to him. He's on, a lap older, fresher tyres, and that sort of hard. Nearly forced him off track there. A little bit aggressive there by the Alfa Romeo, but Fraser right in the mix as well. In towards the right-hander of Bruxelles, now in towards Jackie X. This is phenomenal racing between the lot of them. Let's keep it clean, guys. Oh, Casper and Fraser nearly on each other. In towards now Puon. Casper now through on Fraser, remains in 9th position, barely but the skin of his teeth.
Yeah, but Fraser's on his ERS. He's going to look around the outside into the combo section.
Oh, trying to hang it around the outside. Beautiful stuff. Really, really decent driving there by Fraser. Through into 9th. Casper 10, Capitan there in 11th, and Capitan right in the mix as well. RCR having that good debut, as you mentioned. There's so much going on, though. We have to literally jump from one point to the other. It's phenomenal stuff. This is how we normally take commentary as well, which is really good. Capitan on the back of Casper. Don't think it's going to be close enough. I think we can now say it's settled down a little bit. However, Capitan's on the back of Casper into the bus stop chicane, and he's so late on the brakes. He's going to outdo him on the brakes. Casper now has to react. And that is Owen into the pit lane, obviously, for that pit stop. So Owen into the pit lane for that pit stop. And Casper and Capitan still side by side, coming out of in towards turn number 1. Side by side as well with Fraser and Raul. And just about, Casper gets it on the brakes and he retakes the position.
Yeah, back up to the front go. Nishino on the back of Lifeboat here for the race lead. As
Easy.
the RCR driver just breezes past the ETA driver. That's how powerful DRS is around this circuit. Spicer gets through a mustache as well. And honestly, NLR, it looked a little bit ropey for him at the beginning of this race, but right now, third, fourth and fifth.
Yeah, third, fourth and fifth position. Casper, by the way, nearly into the back of Fraser, coming in toward Lake Holm there. Capitan still on the back of him. But yeah, NLR doing a fantastic job. Capitan again looking towards the inside line on the back of Casper, maybe trying to sense a weakness there from the man in the Ferrari. But doing a good job, I've got to say, NLR. Third, fourth and fifth. Of course, they've got their 3-second penalties overhanging them at the minute. And because we're through the halfway stage, it's Sapala on 3, Spicer on 3, Raul Reese also on 3, and Owen there, who came into the pit lane on 3 seconds worth of penalties as well. Nevesinho still leading the way. Lifeboat there in second. 4/10 of a second though, separating the front two. This is a good job so far from Nevesinho. But remember, Mike, these tyres, these set of mediums, could come back to bite them towards the end of the race.
Yeah, and unfortunately for both Lifeboat and Nevesinho, they do have a 2-second gap back to Sapala. And of course, Sapala and Spicer do have 3-second time penalties. Their nearest danger man right now is obviously Mustache, currently in P5. And see, he's on the hards and he will go to the end relatively comfortably. But you've got Soapbox in the mix as well, and Soapbox is
Oh, Nevesinho! Nevesinho catches on the outside. Well, sorry to cut you off there, Mike, but Lifeboat takes full advantage. Thuni's into the race lead. Nevesinho dipped his rear left wheel onto the grass. He took so much aggressiveness in terms of his curbing. It was too aggressive because he nearly ended up spinning. Luckily, Lifeboat did not pick up damage, but here comes Nevesinho again. Down the Camel Straight, in towards Lake Holm. Should be job done for the AlphaTauri. He's back where he belongs in the race lead, but that was a sketchy moment for him.
Yeah, obviously that mistake, obviously dropping him behind Lifeboat, but DRS able to make up for that mistake. I believe Casper was able to get through on Fraser there, coming up into Lake Holmes as well, and obviously the NLR trainers, I'm going to call it now, Sapala, Spicer, Mustache, and Soapbox are tagging along for the ride there for WR. They have closed up quite considerably now onto Lifeboat. There's only 2 attempts in it. If Sapala uses a bit of DRS, then we could have a DRS train down to Soapbox in P6.
Yeah, definitely so. Sapala, of course, before NLR Academy was actually created, Sapala was part of the main team. So remember, he has got very good consistency. Formerly, of course, part of LFR. But look at Nevesinho, all out of shape again. Coming through curveball thread. This is Lifeboat's opportunity now to try and get on. But this is Sapala's opportunity to get back within DRS. He's got to use it up, I think, because it's what, a second the gap. Lifeboat's still hanging on him behind. Sapala's dropping out. He hasn't got the straight line speed. And he's not going to be within DRS range, at least in towards the bus stop chicane. Down the start finish straight. I personally, if I was in Sapala's shoes, I would have jumped on that, trying to get within DRS range. And for, of course, standing toward the Camel Straight, because he could be catching, 5/10 potentially on the back of Nevesinho.
Yeah, 100%. It definitely would have been with just a bit of a dab.
Now he is.
Coming through the source here. Nevesinho and Lifeboat losing a bit of time to Sapala, and Sapala now within DRS range. And now we have a bit of a train, which is good as Lifeboat now gets through and back into the race lead. The ETA driver moves back up the order once again.
Oh my word. It's going to be 3 wide as well, potentially. It's not going to be 3 wide, actually. Raul Reese is so slow. Casper's just shot off like a bolt into the distance there on the back of Fraser. Fraser there in 8th position. Capitan on the back of Jet. Looks to the inside line again. The RCR man in behind. Capitan, of course, translating to Captain as someone out of shape. There was Fraser letting through Raul Reese. So that is Fraser all out of shape coming through Lake Holm. WR really want to bring the team tactics into tonight's race here in Academy. Of course, team tactics are allowed as long as they are clean. And Fraser there in 9th doing a good job. Jet in 10th, Capitan there in 11th. But look at Sapala, Mike, on the back of Nevesinho.
Yeah, Sapala has had an absolutely fantastic lap this lap. Obviously closing right up to the back of that AlphaTauri. And the AlphaTauri, as we've seen on previous laps, getting a little bit out of shape, getting a little bit nervous up there towards the front. And the NLR drivers are definitely looking to capitalise on this. Capitan picks up a 3-second time penalty. Sapala, I don't think he's going to go for a move here, but almost out of DRS range on Lifeboat already.
Yeah, almost out of DRS range indeed. Soapbox as well, trying to hang on for grim life on the back of Mustache in terms of DRS range as well. So far, everything has been pretty much aggressive, but pretty much clean throughout as well, even though we had the contact, of course, a little bit earlier on. This race has been living up to standards for Academy so far. Let's keep it up, and then Lifeboat leading the way on lap 14 out of 22 from Neresinho in second, Sapala there in third, and Spicer Mustache ran off the top 5, Soapbox Casper, Raul Reese, Fraser, and Jet top 10. Captain Owen and Wizard, the 13 drivers going out on track. Myself and Michael Edwards taking you to the action here for Academy. EML F1 and F2 to come a little bit later on. I shall pause that because Fraser right on the back of Raul Reese.
Yeah, Fraser almost goes into the back of the series. But Jet is going to get an opportunity now. And Jet going to look for a double overtake here. Heading down in towards Lake Home.
Job done.
And it is a fantastic move. And it looks like both WR drivers are suffering in terms of the ERS usage. Both well down on their battery power. And Jet has the ability now to get away.
Yeah, and he does, because he's on that set of medium compound tyres. They're fresher than the hard still at this stage in the race. They are going to be wearing, of course, towards the end. But Jet there and 8 has got Casper really in the mix. Casper's been a little bit sketchy in terms of his cornering, maybe in terms of his setup as well. He might be running maybe more straight line speed than downforce. And look at Jet closing in, 1.3 seconds now the gap. Closing a little bit more, use up a bit more ERS. Jet's going to be within DRS range once again. Yes, there's a big split all the way from 6th to 7th of 2.5 seconds, but Jet, he can get back within range of Casper. That is going to be good news not only for him, but for the 2 WR drivers in behind as well. Sapala is eyeing up a move maybe in towards Blanchimon on the back of Neresinho, and because it's getting so dark in my room, I'm going to have to turn my light on.
Yeah, trust me, I understand that pain. Sapala closing up to the back on Neresinho. Not looking for a move so far, but the RCR driver out of DRS range now on Lifeboat, and he's going to be an absolute sitting duck. And I believe Sapala is going to be smart about this. He's going to wait for the DRS down the Kemmel Straight, not go for it in towards the source. So we're going to see overtakes happen now down the Kemmel Straight, and will we see Spicer following through immediately? I believe we will, but 1.9 is the gap between Lifeboat and Yoshino, but now with DRS, Sapala through, Spicer through, and Mustache has actually lost out massively because he's 1.7 off the back of Yoshino now.
Oh, and Neresinho nearly goes into the back there of Mustache, and Sapala has to cut across the track there through Lake Comment. Another 3-second penalty, another mistake there made by the man in NLR. The Lifeboat there leading the way, now with basically a 6-second cushion to Sapala. That is going to really suit him. There's still action going on further down the field. Raul Reese to the inside line. There's contact there on the back of Jet. Maybe a little bit of hitbox action going on there between the WR man and the IRT man. It's aggressive. It's kind of fair. But if I was him, Raul Reese, I would maybe not argue with the stewards. Just let that go out on track and then let him back through, because it is the easiest thing to do and the fairest thing to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, Sapala now, I mean, as you mentioned, picking up that 3-second time penalty, he was looking good to make sure that he didn't finish any lower than 6th. Now, though, he could be under pressure from finishing behind Jet.
Yeah, and to be honest, Sapala, 6 seconds the gap. It's 1.2 to the lead of Lifeboat. He hasn't got good pace though, Sapala, so actually pulling away from Spicer. And what NLR could easily do with Spicer there in third is Sapala can get away. Spicer can be used as a little bit of a spring chicken and basically pull back Neresinho into Mustache. They all Constantine up and then come into the back of Soapbox as well. So that could potentially be a gap extending away. Everything has now calmed down now for the first time in I think 16 laps in this race. Lifeboat there leading the way from Sapala second, Spicer there in third, Neresinho on the back of Spicer down in toward the Kemmel Straight, in toward Lake Holm. He's closing very quickly on the back. The AlphaTauri to the Aston Martin, inside line comes, and it's easy for Neresinho back through, and he's into third. Spicer won't mind that. He has got less ERS than him. It's actually going to do him a good favour in terms of ERS usage.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, Sapala building that gap. There's now 1.3 between Yoshino and Sapala, and of course 1.3 between Lifeboat and Sapala as well. So we're getting a few gaps begin to come in now on lap 16 as we are beginning to approach the part of the race where these guys now have to make a call in terms of their tyres. Will the mediums get to the end of the race now?
Oh, a Lifeboat. Put it this way, I've just rolled a ball with him there. There's a yellow flag, and that is Raul Reese who's round, coming through Pouon. So that is unfortunate for him. I think he's actually kept it out of the wall, which is good for him. WR man, they're down in 11th position, so disappointing for him in terms of a spin. He's still within the points, though, remember, here in Academy. Jet picks up a 3-second penalty as well. What I was about to say is, Lifeboat made a mistake coming through the Campos chicane, and it was on the limit. It could have been easily under a second. Now the gap's back out to 1.3. Lifeboat controlling the race out in front. He looks very, very good. And of course, formerly Parnell Racing back in the day, as Spicer is into the pit lane. This is interesting from NLR. They've actually made sure that he's not going to get to the end of the race. His tyres are absolutely done for, by the way, on the front left. So Spicer into the pit lane. Set us off Compana tyres on. If drivers are not careful in their tyres, we're seeing the P word here, Mike, and that's punctures.
Yeah, absolutely. And Spicer looking to avoid that. He's going to come out on a fresh set of softs. And honestly, if everyone on the mediums right now needs to come in and make a pit stop, Owen and Wizard all of a sudden come back into this race quite considerably.
Yeah, quite considerably indeed. I forgot, by the way, that we had a tweet telling us to go live that I've just retweeted now on the stream. So we're going to get a whole host of viewers now tuning in, expecting you by yourself on commentary, for then having me alongside you, which is fantastic. Mustache on the back of Nerasino. Yes, set a whole Compana tyres, Mike, are going to be... Oh, as Nerasino goes wide, coming through Jackie X, 3-second penalty for him now. Mustache there in 4th. Doesn't really have to overtake him now with that 3-second penalty. But I think Racer's instinct will take over. His hards will take over. He's going to be quicker than him towards the end of the race. So why wouldn't you go for the move?
Yeah, and this is where the question's got to be asked now. Can Mustache close up to Lifeboat? Well, obviously we're getting to that point now. The mediums are going to become the second best tyres to the hards, if not already. I mean, we saw Spicer come into the pits, so potentially is showing us that the mediums will not get to the end of the race. Lifeboat and Sapala, obviously on the set of mediums, they are quite a bit ahead. As Sapala is back within DRS ring, while Lifeboat are showing his pace. Mustache, though, no penalty to his name on the hard tyres. Can he go on and win this race? As Nerasino's into the
Nerasino. Yeah, Nerasino's into the pit lane. You can tell the front left Compana tyre. I've just removed my timing screen off the left-hand side. There's a solid black blister going through the middle of the tyre. That black blister indicates it's more than 50% tyre wear. So Nerasino into the pit lane, completely feeling. Mediums go off about 6% a lap around here. So with these mediums actually going off the cliff, this is not good news for anyone that is staying out there. Sapala's right on the back of Lifeboat, running down in towards Lake Holm. He's using up all of that ERS, but not to good effect because he's not close enough for the move in towards Lake Holm. The Lifeboat there leading, Sapala second, Mustache there in 3rd, Soapbox there in 4th. My EML F1 compadre, by the way, is Spicer's retired out on track, and that's a safety car.
Ladies and gentlemen,
wow.
This right here is going to be spicy at the end. Everyone should be in now for a fresh set of socks. Unless you are potentially Mustache might try to stay out on the arms. I mean, it is going to be a gamble, but if you're Lifeboat, Sapala, Soapbox, you're coming in for socks. And if you're Mustache, you're going to be full in suit as well, because you don't want to be caught out.
Yeah, I think everyone's going to be in for a set of soft Compana tyres, to be honest. And as well as that, there's no 5-second penalties to get rid of in the pit lane. Everyone's got corner cutting penalties out on track, so it's going to spice things up. If there's anybody to stay out there, it'll be Mustache, Casper and Fraser. They are the only 3 that I can see perceivably possible to stay out on that Compana tyre. Spicer out of the race on that set of softs was through to Rouge and Radion at the top of the hill where he lost it, unfortunately for him. But brings about now a change in the race, saves everyone in the set of medium Compana tyres that hasn't actually come in for second stop. Lifeboat, Sapala, Soapbox, they're now puncture territory has gone completely. They're into the pit lane for set of soft Compana tyres. We'll see what Mustache is going to do. Mustache opts to come in. Soapbox is in. Casper, I think, will be in. Fraser will be in as well, probably as well. Casper's definitely in. Well, Maurice has picked up a drive-through penalty under the safety car, and he overtook Nerasino, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe a little bit of delta time going on there between them both, but everyone's in the pit lane. Set us off Compana tyres on, and it's going to be, 3 laps potentially to the checkered flag.
Oh, Nerasino's going to stay out? Actually, no, he's just coming.
He may as well.
Yeah, he's on a set of mediums just a moment ago, so I mean, definitely lost out a lot of
6th,
positions.
I think. He's coming out in 6th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, solid stuff for Neversinho. Fraser and Capitan, 7th and 8th as well. They're all into the pit lane. Lifeboat leading the way. Paula second, Mustache in third with what we're going to have, Mike, with the safety car just being caught now. We're going to only have 2 laps under the checkered flag. So this is now going to bring DRS out of the picture. Everyone now, it's going to be old school fashion Formula 1. It can get aggressive. Let's hope it doesn't. But if it does, I'm expecting for the guys to come to the front and for the real experienced drivers here in Academy to really come to the fore.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, when it comes to last minute safety cars, obviously sometimes we do see a little bit of desperation going on between some drivers as well. Hopefully we do not see any of that here tonight, but we do tend to see the occasional out of order lunge here and there, so hopefully we can try and avoid that tonight. Fraser for WOR and of course Soapbox, both of them with no penalties. Looking for good results for WOR. I would have said Raul Riz as well had an opportunity, but obviously picking up that drive-through penalty has really hindered his chances in this race. RCR looking pretty decent as well. Obviously Neresino in P6, and then of course Capitan P8 and Wizard down in P12. So all 3 RCR drivers looking pretty decent to score some points here tonight. 88, and it's a tale of 2 drivers right now. You got Lifeboat currently up there enjoying life, leading the way and looking like he could be the favourite, depending on how Sapala gets on this restart. If Sapala gets ahead of Lifeboat, then things will get spicy with Mustache and behind.
Yeah, definitely so. By the way, Raul Ruiz, drive-through penalty. Because we're having 2 laps under the safety car, and with there only be 2 laps of racing left, does that mean he has to come in the pit lane on the final lap of the race before he gets disqualified? I'm not sure how this rule is going to work.
So if it's less than 3 laps to the end, now he'll get hit with a 20-second time penalty. So if it is an unfair drive-through that has been applied to him, he could potentially put in a protest for a 20-second time penalty to be removed. But that's how it works now. If there's not enough laps to go ahead and serve the drive-through, then it is going to be a 20-second time penalty added on.
Yeah, and with that as well, with Raul Ruiz obviously having that drive-through, is WR, is their plan now potentially for them to stay out with Raul Ruiz, try and pick up the extra points, and hopefully get that drive-through penalty and that 20-second penalty removed if the POV, of course, can prove it. It's an interesting one. I've never seen anything like this in quite a while, actually, in Formula 1 racing, on certainly on this game, certainly on other games as well. But Raul Ruiz in 11th, drive-through penalty overhanging him. Everyone, by the way, in terms of penalties, are as follows. Sapala on 6 seconds, so he's probably going to be out of the podiums come the end of the race unless there's contact behind him. Neversinho on 3, Capitan on 3, then Owen on 3, Jet on 3. Raul Ruiz did have 6 seconds, I believe, before that drive-through penalty popped up, so Raul Ruiz has got a drive-through as well as those penalties as well. And Wizard there in 12th on 3 seconds worth of penalties. Put it this way, Mike, if I was in the man in 12th position shoes right now, I'd need a bit of magic from there.
Yep, and the question is, does he believe in magic here in Belgium? We're about to find out. We are going to be getting back underway on the following lap, so it's going to be a 2-lap shootout here at Spa. Lifeboat leads the way. We've got Sapala with 6 seconds currently in 2nd place, so in a lap, but he has his teammate Mustache in behind, and I think what we're going to be seeing is Sapala potentially going for a move and trying to back Lifeboat into Mustache.
Yeah, you'd imagine so. I think Lifeboat, though, he's got on that set of soft compound tyres. Safety car, by the way, is going to be coming in this lap round about now. Perfect timing. Safety car is in this lap. That means Lifeboat now. Virtual Bert Molander. He's now the virtual safety car. I think, actually, if I was in Lifeboat shoes, I'd just try and take it to Sapala into Mustache, because he's got the quicker strategy. He's got the quicker setup compared to Sapala. Why wouldn't you try and put them on the back foot early off the safety car restart? There's no DRS, so it's not going to help Sapala along. You may as well try and hurt him where it hurts most, and that's with a very good start on the safety car.
Yeah, we'll have to see, though, if they do get a good start on the safety car. Lifeboat controlling the pace, and this is going to be crucial for Sapala. When does the ETA driver go? As through the exit of the bus stop chicane right now, and here we go, we're back racing once again, 2-lap shootout. Lifeboat leads away, Sabala in second place, Mustache in third, Soapbox in fourth.
Yeah, no one's right down the backside of Capitan in towards turn number 1 as well. Not quite close enough to remove, though, in towards turn number 1. But Zapala has stuck with Lifeboat, funnily enough, underneath the safety car restart. Exactly the opposite that I thought might happen has now happened in the Mustache right on the back of these guys as well. Zapala now looks the inside line, running down the outside of the Camel straight. Should be easy from Zapala. Lifeboat, I think, is not going to be incisive for this battle. He's coming back at him down the straight. Look at Casper from the back of the clouds. On the back of Soapbox, trying to look for the move. Fraser and Eversinio very close for a bit of contact as well. They're side by side between Jet and Ralph Ruiz, I think that is. In the background of shot through 10th and 11th position. Now down the inside though goes the Alfa Romeo. That's forceful from Fraser on the back of Eversinio. Gets the job done. Sometimes you've got to be aggressive to pull off the moves, and Fraser's done that. He's into second.
And here comes Owen now, trying to get through as well as he's trying to look down the inside in towards Huon, but Nershino covers that off. And the ETA driver is going to get a little bit frustrated now behind the RCR driver as he has a little peek down the inside into the Campbell chicane.
Yeah, and Raul Ruiz as well, right on the back of Jet, in behind as well. Zapala now beginning to pull away, 6/10 of a second. Needs another 5.5 seconds to actually win this race out on track. He needs another 5.5 seconds even to get in the top 5, I think, out on track as well. So Zapala going to be struggling toward the end of the race. Raul Ruiz, by the way, on the back of Jet. We'll see whether he's going to come in to serve that drive-through penalty. Has he been told by the game to come in to serve that drive-through penalty? Never seen you, though, still on the back of Fraser. Raul Ruiz on the back of Jet. My TV is going to turn itself off if we're not careful in 60 seconds' time. And Raul Ruiz on the back of Jet, not coming in the pit lane, so he's going to continue on.
Owen getting through on Nishino around the outside of Associate. It's going to go well for these two as Nishino gets onto the inside curve. Fortunately, the car does stick to the track there. Soapbox over the back of Casper here for P4, and essentially this is for the final spot on the podium. Soapbox WOR, Casper for IRT as they are side by side now, and down, and Raul is out of this race, so we'll never know if he could have got that 20-second time penalty removed now. But Soapbox settling behind Casper, and only one major opportunity left now for any of these guys, and that is down into the bus stop chicane.
Yeah, Casper, to be honest, has got much better pace than Soapbox. I think this is job done now for potential podium finish for Casper. Now putting him out from Soapbox, 7/10 of a second. There's no way Soapbox is going to come back from that. Unless he's got a jetpack going to be applied, or maybe as soon as I say that, he gets a 3-second penalty. Casper, 3-second penalty. That's a commentator's curse right there. There'll be more of them to come later on tonight. But Zapala coming in towards the Campos corner and then through Curveball Frere leads the way by 9/10 of a second on the final lap here in Belgium. EML Academy, F1 and F2 to come up, of course, at 8 PM UK time, to tune in for that. Zapala running now down in towards Lunchmon, has really controlled this race over the last 2 laps, got ahead of Lifeboat in towards Lacombe on the last lap, and Zapala now is going to come into the bus stop chicane to try and take this race win. However, 6 seconds worth of penalties are going to come back to bite him on the bum cheeks. So Zapala now comes through the final corner on the run to line, wins in Belgium, but it's Lifeboat who takes a second consecutive win here in EML Academy, takes the race win. Mustache there in second, Soapbox there in third, and Mike out on track. EC8 from WOR, from NLR, from WOR. 3 big teams from the first 3 positions.
Yeah, absolutely, and it was looking like obviously IRT were going to join them as well with Casper, but that late 3-second time penalty threw it all away for him in the end. And Lifeboat, absolutely fantastic race from the ETA driver, and he just looked very comfortable throughout the entirety of that race.
He did. He's using Brendan Lee's look, I've got to be honest, there, out on track. He comes to the top step of the podium. Fantastic. And of course, Lifeboat has taken 2 wins in a row. His 3rd podium, actually, in a row as well. You can hear a little bit of mic rustling there. That's Wizard, I think, not realising that his mic's actually on my TV. So apologies if you can hear that in the background. But Lifeboat taking the race win out on track. Phenomenal race win as well. Unlucky from Zapala, I think, towards the end. Soapbox as well, saying he had 75% of the race with floor damage. Did a fantastic job to finish 3rd with floor damage. Lifeboat out on top though, Mustache second, Soapbox there in third, and Mustache from 14th on the grid. Remember, he didn't actually set a lap time in qualifying. So fantastic performance from him to finish in second. But it's Wipeout that wins for Mustache there in second, Soapbox there in third, Fraser in fourth, then Casper ran off the top 5. Sapana in the end in sixth, 42.9. He does get the fastest lap, however, so that will be applied as an extra point. Owen there in 7th, with the Rocinio in 8th, Jet there in 9th, Capitan there in 10th. Sadly not the skipper here tonight, with Wizard in 11th, no magic tricks from him. Valverice in 12th, and Spicer in 13th, Daniel in 14th, and Kaylee out of the race in lap 1. Very disappointing from him for IRT. But a great race, Lifeboat taking the race win.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, another strong performance from ET8 once again. And honestly, it's going to be difficult for these guys to begin to close that gap. And of course, they do need to close that gap. They want any chance in terms of getting the top tier, the top positions here in Academy. And of course, we're able to once again go back over to the standing screen. As you can see right there, obviously coming in tonight, Lifeboat was leading the drivers, and of course he definitely will extend that now after tonight's win. But there we go. That is how the standings did look coming into tonight's race. Obviously, ET8 Academy were leading the way. I believe WOR might have just closed up with a 3rd and 4th place finish. So we'll have to see how that goes. And obviously, just a quick reminder of the the point system as well. So there you go. So yeah, Lifeboat picking up 30 points for his race win. Mustache picking up 25 for second place, and of course, Soapbox picking up 20 for P3. In terms of where we'll be racing next, of course, round number 5, we go to Qatar, James.
Oh, I am in love with Qatar on this game. It has produced race after race. Every single commentary I've done, I think, has been a very strong race. Academy will love it around there. And of course, Mike, it is the final race before our scheduled break week before we go to Austria for round 6.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, once we come back from that break, as you mentioned, Austria round 6, round 7 will be at Zandvoort, round 8 at Brazil, Imola around 9, and of course Vegas to wrap up the end of the season. I think there will be some fearing about Vegas, that is for sure. But yeah, next week, we head to Qatar. But before we do head to Qatar next week, we do have F1 and F2 in around 40 minutes time. So, James, you want to get a quick plug in for F1?
Yeah, 40 minutes time for F1. Of course, coming into tonight, remember, Nando took the race win. OP with a 1-3 last week as well. I will get the standings up very quickly from my notes. And OP, of course, taking the lead in the championship for the first time all season. So they're on 124. F7R in second on 107. Chazoo in third on 80 points. FER only a point behind them coming into tonight on 4. However, RCR taking over, of course, from FER after their sad closure in the last week or so. And if you want to tune in, you can do. You can like, comment, subscribe, take that notification bell, of course, if you're brand new to this channel. And of course, if you're going to be tuned into F1 later, why wouldn't you? The likes of Kian's Racing, I've got the driver lineup here. The likes of Kian Racing for F7R, likes of Aurelian Racing for F7R. We've got Marlon and Tallers in for NLR. We've got Benny and Lucas Racing for PGS. Zane and Feddy in for Shazoo. And of course, Wiener and Louis Valentine in for OP. Why wouldn't you come and watch EML F1 later on?
Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't you indeed? And obviously, EML F1 and of course F2 will be on at 8 p.m. in about 40 minutes time. But for here in Academy, we will be saying a good night. And of course, we'll be back next week for Qatar. So, yep, it is goodbye from myself, Michael Edwards, and obviously a massive thank you for James jumping into the commentary booth, making sure I wasn't alone this week, and I do appreciate that, James.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. So a massive thank you to James for jumping in, and he'll catch you in around 40 minutes, but I'll catch you next week for more action in Academy. Until then, guys, it is goodbye.